Everything in the universe is made up of atoms. They are basically building blocks of all types of matter in the universe. For example, there are 7 billion atoms in your body. First, let's talk about what is atom. Atom is the smallest particle of an element, still having the same chemical properties of the elements. The particles smaller than atoms are called as subatomic particles. There are 3 parts of an atom. Protons have a positive electrical charge and are found together with neutrons, which is neutral charge, in the nucleus of each atom. Next, negatively charged electron orbit the nucleus. Did you guys ever wonder that how the atom was founded, why, and also when? Let's take a look at the history of the atoms, theories, and models. First is J.J. Thomson. At 1898, Thomson proposed a model that called as a plum pudding model. It shows that the atom has composed of electrons scattered throughout a spherical cloud of a positive charge. He also recognized that electrons, which has negatively charged as a component of atoms, thus this making the atoms neutral due to the balance of positive and negative charge. There's one person named as Antoine and Rebecca. He discovered that the atom is in the form of ray emitted by uranium at 1869. Now we go to the Ernest Rutherford. He discovered that there's 2 types of ray emitted by uranium. He named them as alpha and beta. He also used the alpha ray to study further about the atom by using the gold foil experiment at 1911. In the gold foil experiment, Rutherford fired positively charged alpha particles at a thin sheet of gold foil. Most passes through with little deflection, but some deflected at a large angle. This was only possible if the atoms was mostly empty space, if the positive charge concentrated in the center of the nucleus. There's also a weakness in Rutherford's models. He do not explain why electrons remain in orbit around the nucleus, and the Rutherford's model failed to explain why atoms are stable. So next, the Bohr model of the hydrogen atom. In 1905, Einstein introduced the light quanta. Light consists of photons, and atoms emit and absorb the light. However, Rutherford models failed to explain why atoms are stable. In 1911, a person named Niels Bohr, who just received his doctoral degrees in physics, he joined Rutherford's lab, and he also proposed a new model of the atoms in which he added quantization to Rutherford nuclear atom. Bohr modified Rutherford's model of the atom by stating that electrons move around the nucleus in orbits of fixed size and energies. Electron energy in these models was quantized. Electrons will not occupy values of energy between the fixed energy levels. He also proposed stable electrons orbit and explains the emission spectra of some elements. However, the weakness of this model is the moving electron would emit energy and collapse into the nucleus. Model did not work well for heavier atoms. Bohr started from the assumption that the electrons move in circular orbits around the proton under the influence of the attractive electric field. So, the first postulate is only certain orbits are stable. These are stationary states. An electron does not emit EM radiation when in one of these states. Second postulate, the electron can only have an orbit for which the angular momentum of the electron, L, fixed on discrete values. The orbits are quantized. The third postulate, if the electron is initially in an allowed orbit, I, having the initial energy goes into another allowed orbit, F, and the final energy is lesser than the initial energy, so the EM radiation is emitted with the energy and the frequency. So next is the radius of the Bohr's orbit. In atomic physics, Bohr's radius is a physical constant expressing the most probable distance between the electron and the nucleus in a hydrogen atom in the ground state. Due to his prime role in building the Bohr's model, this physical constant is named after him. The value of the Bohr's radius is 5.29 times 10 to the power of negative 11 meters. So that's how the existence and the structure of the atoms was discovered.